Live with an open heart, even if it hurts.
Shutting our heart off is dangerous. Your heart was designed to pump and flow.
I was shutting my heart down, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be a stone cold brick wall.
As a man, I've said some stuff, did some stuff, because why? My heart was closed. Because my heart being open hurt like hell, and I didn't want to experience that.
I'm gonna do for everybody else. But as far as getting something for me, even if you tried on your best day, I wasn't receiving it. If I don't see you as safe, I'm not opening my heart.
Sometimes we have so much stuff on our heart that we're trying to operate under all that pressure, and it's making our heart tougher.
But what I didn't understand is that nobody has the ability to emotionally hurt me.
Yes.
They are not powerful enough, DZ. They ain't strong enough to emotionally hurt me. Only I can. What's going on, family? And welcome once again to another episode of The Certified Man. I'm KD Bowe, partner in... why do I have such a problem saying this? Partner in praise, partner in crime. My dude.
Derwin Davis.
My ninja.
Hey, man, you my boy.
Derwin Davis. My boy, that's it. So thank you all for being a part of this journey.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest with you. A part of this journey has been a total walk by faith. Bro, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I'm out here now. I done said, can I say something? I could just take it out. But it may sound crazy to you, but I could have been doing these a long time ago. But You know the reason why I didn't? I'm telling you, it's gonna sound crazy to you, bro. You can judge me if you want. I'm saying don't judge me. You can judge me if you want.
Hey, man, no judgment zone. Let's go.
Bro, I had gained like 15 pounds.
Wow.
And I didn't feel like having to explain that. So I said, let me just lose the 15 pounds. Then life happened. A little light depression set in.
Wow.
15 turned into 30.
Wow.
30 turned into 50 pounds.
Wow.
So I was 250. I gained 50 pounds. So I'm at 300 pounds.
Wow.
And so I said, well, I don't want to get on the camera. I look crazy. I stopped taking pictures, like all of that.
Wow.
And so eventually I felt like God put this unction in my heart to do this despite weight.
Right.
He didn't say, hey, when you lose the weight, I want you to get on camera.
Right.
God didn't say that.
Exactly.
So when we made up our minds to do it, it was like a 2-week span or whatever, something like that? Crazy enough, I lost 20 pounds
in those 2 weeks.
In those 2 weeks.
Wow.
But I had changed my discipline and it was in line with my yes. You understand what I'm saying? When I said yes, God started to cause all things to work together.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's a message for somebody out there. Hey, bro, if you're holding up on something for whatever the reason is, if God told you to do something and you on some, well, let me just get this straight first before I move in that right direction, you're going to lose every time and you're going to be right here in this same place this time next year saying the same exact thing. At some point, you got to make up your mind to move now.
Yeah. I mean, Moses, the waters was parted before he went through the waters. But Joshua, the waters was parted as he stepped into the water.
That's good.
There's some healings that Jesus did that they were healed as they went.
The 10 lepers.
Yes, exactly. So not to get so spiritual, but the principle is sometimes we're so busy worried about how it looks versus doing, because the doing, you can only do who you are, and the doing is actually getting you to being.
Yeah. So I had to be okay with becoming the person that did the thing.
Exactly.
And so honestly, as I was doing my miracle mornings, I mean, we talked about this. So part of my miracle mornings was God's affirmation, or my affirmations that I wrote under his unction, God's unction. I wrote the affirmation, and one of those lines of the affirmation, it talks specifically about the kind of person that I am.
Right.
And it was during that moment of revelation that the Spirit of God, oh, this sounds so deep. I don't want to make it sound deep, but it's just the truth. That it was then that the Spirit of God graced me to do the thing.
Yes.
Only after I decided this is what I'm built for. Like, this is in my DNA. I was thinking about this last night, bro, and then I promise you we're going to get to our topic today. I was thinking about this last night as I drifted off to sleep. We are a part of God's DNA. Like we are a part of his DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of the parts that are in us are also a part of God's DNA. Watch this.
We're made in his image and his likeness.
Bro, so all of the parts that we don't necessarily understand, and in some cases we don't like, that's still a part of God, bro. And what we have to do most of the time, man, we got to wrangle it in and get it in the right place. But God put that fight in us. He put that anger in us. He put some of that criticism in us.
Right.
He put some of that competition in us. But it's got to be in the right space.
Right.
And sometimes when the protector part of us kicks up and it gets in the wrong place, that's when it starts taking the lead role when, hey, didn't nobody come to see you, Otis? Get back where you're supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know that sounds kind of deep and lofty for y'all, but when you get it, you'll get it. And there you go.
Well, the simple thing is we have to be okay with becoming. And sometimes we want to go out to the world and present ourselves as if we have arrived, as if we got it all together. When the truth is we are growing, we are becoming, but as we walk in the step of doing, we're actually being.
Yeah.
And that's what's about being the certified man. The certified man is not that you're perfect. The certified man is a man that you're working on becoming the best version of yourself, because that stamp of approval, you know, you're watching this on Instagram reel, that blue stamp says you can be trusted, you can be vented, you verified. And so you're doing the steps that says, guess what? You want to be the best version of yourself that's verified, that's trusted in the area. And the only way you get there is by taking those steps.
Bro, you have Willie Moore Jr.
Yeah.
You got Larry Reed Live.
Yeah.
The Breakfast Club.
Yes.
You got Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Yes.
You know, you got Bishop Bullwinkle. I don't know. I drew
No.
Right.
Hey, the Bishop is my man. He got some songs out there.
He got a little oil on him. I ain't gonna, you know. But what I'm saying is everybody's voice is different, bro.
Very much so.
And the Bishop Bullwinkles don't necessarily appeal to those that like him, don't always appeal to those who like maybe a Breakfast Club.
Yes.
But the truth is, he's got an audience. And so God has our voice specifically for somebody. So maybe, you know, what you say may not draw crowds of thousands. Maybe you draw crowds of tens, but that's your crowd.
Yes.
That's you are just as responsible to those 20 people.
Yes.
That always show up and like your posts and like your Instagram stuff. You are just as responsible to them as Bishop Jakes is to the people that he speaks to at you know, Essence Fest.
Right. And everybody in their journey. If you be faithful over a few things,
yeah, man,
he will allow you to be ruler over many. And it's that process of being and becoming. And that's what I'm excited about. You know, you talked about the process of miracle morning. I never forget in my miracle morning of sitting and meditating and visualization, that's when this whole thing about getting content out. And I was thinking about, well, dang, I need this. Well, I gotta get this in place. And then you like, bro, it's time to hit this certified man. I'm thinking, my first thought was, we're going back to Man Up Certified, and we're gonna do a Man Up Live. And he's like, no, bro, we're going to the podcast. I was like, oh, podcast. But here's the thing what has truly been a blessing out of this is that being able to share our process and our story of growth, not from a place that, hey, we got all of these boxes checked out, but this is the area that we're working and growing on individually and how we're growing and inviting other men to come a part of that community to say, guess what? I want to work on myself and I want to be around some brothers who are working on themselves, who's going to invite us into each other's lives, that we have exponential growth, not just additional growth. It's amazing. And I'm excited of how I'm seeing you grow. I'm excited of how I'm seeing others grow. And I'm excited how we're growing. Because guess what? It's not just about us losing weight. We're losing emotional weight. We're losing psychological weight. And we're looking better. We're feeling better. And we're going to look back at this a year from now, 2 years from now, and remember it was in these moments of just being consistent That's been something that's been on my heart. So this whole week
stuff, bro.
is that the tortoise always wins the race. The tortoise always wins the race. Long-term consistency always beats short-term intensity.
That's good.
So as long as we become consistent and growing, we're going to get there.
Indeed. One final thing that dropped in my spirit when you was talking is that the journey that we're on, God is even gracing those who we are speaking to be graced for us to practice. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's giving them the grace to deal with us as we practice and as we become. Who you are called to,
right?
God, we can mess up, and they be like, "Yeah, I know what they meant though. He said left, but I know he meant right. You messed up, but you graced for it because that's who you called to."
The foolishness of preaching.
You about to do that thing.
I
feel you about to do that thing.
God is so sovereign that his name is on the line. And because his name is on the line, he guarantees that the message is delivered regardless of the state of the messenger. That's the dangers. That's the dangers of being in ministry. That's the dangers of being a leader. That's the dangers of being a speaker, that God can even use you while he's growing you. So it is very cocky or arrogant for us to feel like we have to get it right. No, it's because God blows on it, because that's why person A can hear one thing, but person B can hear the next thing. Person C can hear another thing, because God, he ensures that you get what you need. And I'm thankful that as we allow God to have his grocery store, we're just the Instacart shopper.
Yeah, man.
That's just gathering the groceries of God and putting them in a way that delivers to people's doorsteps so they can get it when they need it.
Guess what? Every Instacart person or every DoorDash person, however it plays out, they didn't come up with DoorDash. They didn't come up with Instacart. All they know is I just got to do my part. And if I do my part, according to the person that created the situation, everybody's going to be happy and it's going to turn out well. It's the same thing with God, bro. We cannot control the end result. The only thing we can do is control our part of it. I don't even control success. I don't control how big we get. I don't control none of that. The only thing I can control, and the only thing I focus on, bro, is what do I do and how can I posture my heart today in this hour to do what I'm supposed to do.
And that's the huge thing of us posturing our heart. I can't even speak right. Is one man planteth, another man watereth, but God gives the increase. But what I have learned is that my planting is often affected by the condition of my heart. Because if my heart is blocked, I won't show up right. If my heart is blocked, I won't receive right. If my heart is blocked, it's tainted. It's just not right. It's very dangerous, and especially for me, to do things in this season of my life with my heart not in it.
So, see what you did right there. That's masterful. So, what we're talking about today, David Dieter, from The Way of the Superior Man, the author of that book, he had a quote in that book, Way of the Superior Man. And the quote is this: live with an open heart, even if it hurts. Let that marinate, bro. Live with an open heart, even if it hurts. Now, you and I are on this journey, as well as a lot of brothers, of being able to be the best version of ourselves. But I realize now that being the best version of myself demands that I lower some of the guards, bro. I open up my heart more. Because we focus, bro, on guard your heart. Guard your heart, guard your heart. And I think that we mean a lot of times, protect yourself. Protect yourself.
Right.
But what I'm realizing is this, that it is through an open heart that I have the most connections. And watch this, I can be my most authentic self.
Right.
and I can impact the most people,
Right.
my wife, my children, business, you, my friends, when my heart is open versus closed.
See, some people we call it protect your heart, but often what we're doing is blocking our heart.
Oh,
See, a heart blockage causes a shutdown.
what's the difference between protect and
I
block?
think protecting your heart is being at a place to be aware of what's taking place in your heart. The Apple Watch, it has a heart monitor.
Yes.
Protecting our heart is maintaining it, eating it healthy, exercising. Those are the things that's making sure that our heart is flowing.
Yeah.
That gets into protecting our heart.
Yeah.
But shutting our heart off is dangerous because your heart was designed to pump and flow.
Ooh. Okay. Hold on, Deezy. Hold on.
This-
so there's got to be an outgoing and there's got to be an incoming for it to be healthy.
Yes, dude. This heart thing. You a couple of years ago, I went to a cardiologist because I was so overweight, and it scared me because it was just for something simple. I was overweight. My primary care physician did not desire to put me on blood pressure medicine themselves. They said, I want you to go see a cardiologist because at that time, I was just not on the door of 500 pounds. Okay. So I go see the cardiologist. I check out. The cardiologist says everything is fine. Yes, we're going to put you on this blood pressure med. I think it was like lisinopril or something like that. Hydrochlorothiazide, something like that. But anyway, I'm walking out of the door. They find out because I'm a pastor and because some other stuff, he immediately orders all of these tests. Just out of the way.
Because you were a pastor?
Yeah, because most pastors have cardiologists because of the amount of stress and the unhealthy eating and all of the things that were going on. And the results of that test was that my heart was thickening. And because of the blood pressure, because of the stress that was on it, my heart was having to work too much because of the environments and the conditions that are around it. And it was causing my heart muscles to thick. And the thing about your heart, once the muscles get thick, they cannot unthick themselves. And that's oftentimes what we see physically goes on, is that sometimes we have so much stuff on our heart that we're trying to operate under all that pressure, and it's making our heart tougher. And it restricts the flow. But it's learning to shed stuff, learning to create an environment where you're open.
Flow.
That you can flow. And so now one of the things that I've really, while that was going on in my heart physically, there's a lot of stuff that is going on in my heart emotionally that I'm getting to a place that I've had to really trust God that there's nothing that can happen to me that I cannot heal from. Because I used to shut my heart down. Dude, I mean, even right now, in my own counseling session, I was dealing with parts. And I got my counseling session, I was dealing with parts and protectors. I'm holding my heart right now because even as I'm talking about it, I feel a little pain here where in previous times of my life, my heart has shut down. And I'm working as a man on opening my heart to get my flow right. That even if you treat me wrong, my heart is not shut down. What David Dita talked about. Learning to live with your heart open, even if it hurts, because your heart closed does so much damage. As a man, I've said some stuff. Why? Because my heart was closed. As a man, I did some stuff. Because why? My heart was closed. Because my heart being open hurt like hell, and I didn't want to experience that. Versus I'm learning that you stay in that pain when your heart is not open.
I like that, bro. I like that. So the heart has 4 ventricles, like, last week's, podcast, we talked about that. Shout out to Demond. There has to be a constant flow.
Yes.
It's got to be a constant flow. So for me, blocking my heart, or me keeping a closed heart, is I say, well, you know what? Y'all not going to call me trifling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do for everybody else. You ain't never going to be able to say that I didn't do what I said I was going to do.
Yeah.
But as far as getting something for me, even if you tried on your best day, I wasn't receiving it. Because if I don't see you as safe, then yeah, I'm not opening my heart. But what I didn't understand was something that I learned in prayer during my miracle mornings, is that nobody has the ability to emotionally hurt me.
Yes.
They are not powerful enough, DZ. They ain't strong enough to emotionally hurt me.
Mhm.
Only I can.
Right.
With the stories and the intentions
Mhm.
that I give to what they did or what they said.
Mhm.
Because in truth, they're just words. And if I don't put meaning to them,
Right.
and I don't stretch that narrative out,
Mhm.
it could never hurt me. So what I was doing was I was shutting my heart down, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be a stone cold brick wall. And hey, bro, and at the end of the day, I'm a monster, I'm a beast, I'm a machine, and can't nobody stop me. I'm gonna be a productive beast. But the problem is that might work good in business, my brother, to a certain level. But in relationships, in brotherhood, oh no, you won't get far at all. And in order for us to grow and develop and to really be the community that I believe God is calling us to be, it demands an open heart.
Yes, man. An open heart has a strength, but it has a gentleness.
Mm.
An open heart has a vulnerability. An open heart has an ear, but our heart has a sound. And we often have irregular heart rhythms as men.
That's right. Ooh.
We have irregular heart rhythms as men because we said that didn't hurt us, and we try to act like it didn't hurt us. We have irregular heart rhythms because we said, you know what, that did hurt us, but because it hurt too bad, we shut it off. We had to man up.
In the negative sense, yeah.
Yeah. And not recognize how that impacted us, or not even deal with the emotions or the feelings around that. I am convinced that men have bigger hearts than women.
Really?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Okay. I've been reading Psalms, taking just my own personal time, not preaching. I've been reading a Psalms a day and a Proverbs a day. And not trying to be a theologian, just me observing. Psalms is a journal. It's a diary of often David and other writings working out and exercising what is taking place in his heart. It's how he kept his heart open. And if you look at some Psalms, the emotional swing of them things, one Psalm, he like, man, kill him.
Right.
Do this because that's what's in his heart.
Yeah.
In another Psalm, he's, God, I'm sorry for what I did.
Yeah.
I messed this up. In another Psalm, he's dealing with how he's delighting in the Lord and how he's going to praise.
Yeah.
He's really exposing the amount of work he's having to do to keep his heart open.
Ooh, this is good. This is good.
And so now, as I'm dealing with this personally and seeing this as an example and journaling and meditating and doing these items, I'm like, how much work is it taking me to really keep my heart open? You mean I really got to be honest with God about how I don't like what happened? And he's able to take that to God and say, you know, God, I really want you to, you know, smite him and handle this. But in another moment, he's asking God for grace.
And if you can't be honest with God, honestly, who can you be honest with?
Hey,
so if you hate him,
exactly.
don't go to God and be like, Lord, I love him. No, just tell him, I hate him, but I know I ain't supposed to, but just help me with that.
But that's where he takes it to.
Yeah.
And he's regarded as a man after God's own heart. He has his own character issues. He has his own ethical issues. But one thing that I see consistently about David is that he works on keeping his heart in line, even when it gets off track.
Yeah.
And so I'm really focusing on what shape is my heart in. Because if my heart is not in the right shape, I'm going to say something.
That's true.
That's stacked up.
And you can look great on the outside, but your heart is not right. And, you know, what does it look like when you're right about to have a heart attack? Nobody knows.
Exactly.
Until you're actually having a heart attack because of the condition of your heart. Man, so the work that we are talking about doing and having an open heart, it says that we're brave enough to say, I'm going to go past all of the accoutrements of what people say success is.
Right.
I'm going to go to the parts where people honestly can't see.
Right.
I can't see.
Right.
But I know when my heart is open. If I'm having a conversation, I know, man, when I'm shutting down. So I have to tell myself, okay, that emotion right there, it exists for a reason. So my emotion is to be my servant, not my master.
Right.
So if I feel a twinge of jealousy, what was that? What are you trying to tell me?
Exactly.
If I feel a flash of anger and my adrenaline kicks up, what was that? What are you trying to tell me? That's living with an open heart, because just like love comes through that one highway, that one road, all of the other emotions come through there as well. And if you block one, you block them all.
Exactly.
So you got to be open to all of them. That makes me angry.
Mm-hmm.
What is that telling me?
Exactly.
What do I do with that?
Exactly. Even as we started talking, my heart started tightening up. And I literally had to tell my protectors and my heart, no, you're going to be open. You're going to be vulnerable because this is how we're living our life now.
So it just tightened up when
we first started talking. I started talking about you notice I started grabbing my chest.
Yeah.
Because it literally, I've learned it was a pain that used to be right here.
Yeah.
Now it's a pain that's shifting to the side over here, this part of my chest. And I've noticed that because my heart has been in a cage for years.
Yeah.
My heart was in a cage as a little boy to not be disappointed, to not be let down, to not show and be vulnerable, to not be regarded as a punk, to be regarded as strong. And so I'm learning how to work out through that. And what you just talked about was literally of how when those things happen, they're indicators for us to be able to dive in and say, what is that?
Yeah.
Because being vulnerable, I used to see that as being weak.
Yes.
Now I'm learning that it takes a heck of strength and testosterone.
Yes.
And courage as a man to be vulnerable.
To hold frame.
Yes.
When you are having, especially if you're married, and you're there in front of your wife and you're doing all of the right things, and she is on an entirely different something else that may very well just last for the day. But it's like, hey, if I have an off day, if I have one off day and you catch me like this with that attitude, yeah, it's going down in Chinatown. It's going downtown Nino Brown. But that's when I have to say to myself, no. You are not the victim of your story, Playboy. You ain't the victim.
Yes.
You are the hero.
Yes.
Hold your frame.
Yes.
And who is the carpenter of your frame?
Yes.
That's Jesus.
Yes.
And Jesus will help you hold frame even when everything else seems to be so unstable and you're reaching and you're looking for something or someone else to hold you up. Sometimes the only person that's going to hold you up is God.
In there.
But keep that heart open.
Because if your heart's not open, my hand doesn't get the circulation it needs. So my work is affected.
Yeah.
And my heart's not open, my legs don't get the circulation it needs. So there could be something going on at a different part of my body, a different part of my life. But my heart not being open.
That's good, bro.
Doesn't allow the circulation to get to that area because it's in there. Medicine has to get to the bloodstream for it to work.
And watch this. It'll work for a while, but eventually necrosis sets in.
Exactly.
And then you start to find that certain parts of your life are not alive anymore.
Exactly.
Why is that?
Right.
Let's go to the culprit. Let's go to the heart.
Right.
And deal with that heart. Many of us have shut our hearts down or closed our hearts because honestly, we just don't want to be hurt.
Right.
We don't want to feel shame. We don't want to be embarrassed.
And men don't take hurt like others. You know, I mean, hey man.
Say that, bro.
Hey. We don't do good with hurt. We don't do good with pain.
Ben, that's why women have to bear the children.
Yeah,
because we wouldn't be sitting here having this show.
I have to admit, as a man, I have not dealt well with pain. I've often disregarded it. Let me say it this way. Wow, being vulnerable. There was a time in my life that they thought I had a tumor on my pituitary gland.
Really?
Yes. There was a time that I was going to over 7 doctors. And I never forget, Sean, my mom's best friend had a daughter. She's gone home to be with the Lord. I literally went to the Morehouse Midtown Neurology Center and was about to lose my mind because I literally thought I had a tumor in the brain. I threw up multiple times in the MRI machine. I go in and I'm extremely anxious, and Sean, who I've known all my life, is there. And she sees me. Everybody know me as Derwin, but she calls me Jermaine. But at that time, I come to find out that I was losing memory, not because I had a tumor on my pituitary gland, but because of the amount of stress that I was under.
Mm.
And here's one thing I'm seeing. As I do work on my heart, as I do work in counseling, my memory is coming back.
Really?
Because your mind actually protects you from trauma and pain.
Oh, that's good, bro. That's good, man. Wow, that's good.
No, your mind will do everything it can to try to protect you. So that's why some traumatic events that happen in your life, they'll try to replay itself over the mind because the mind is trying to replay it to give it a different outcome.
Yeah.
It's almost like a broken record.
Mm.
And so it wasn't until those moments that I'm like, I was literally losing my mind because I was keeping things that had hurt me tremendously in working, function, pastoring, preaching, but closed heart. And literally killing myself because of a closed heart. And now, I say this all the time, I've had to lose 5 to 7 times of the weight psychologically and emotionally than I ever had to do physically. And I'm learning the biggest areas in the area of my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when the heart change, when the heart is open, you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
But that's why I believe that the enemy comes after a man's heart. Because if he can get his heart shut down, his work is going to be shut down. His children are going to be shut down. His spouse is going to be shut down. He's going to be shut down. So he's after the heart.
Yeah, man.
That's why when some men, when their heart get broken, they lose it. They go 8. I was going to say 8. Because it's that area. But it's being aware that if I stay in this place of a shut off heart, it's going to cost me so much more than the pain of me being open and healing it.
So many of us don't know the damage, and thank you for that, bro. That was an incredible testimony. Thank you for that. Many of us don't know the damage of a closed heart. But eventually, if that flow doesn't occur, something is going to die.
Yes.
So today, I think I'm good. I think I'm good off of this thing because I really want to process this. Today, I want to encourage you, gentlemen, to be intentional about your heart, bro. We stress community because that's the thing that has definitely got us through. Community. It's being able to have your bros to talk to and just vent, man. Just get it out. Just get it out. But beyond that, if you don't open your heart, you may or may not realize the people that are around you that have the answer to give you in the first place. Have you noticed that sometimes when we do Man Up Lives, the answer's in the room?
Yes.
Some guys get it and some guys don't. And you can't make somebody. It's like pouring water on a rock.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make somebody absorb something if your heart ain't pliable to receive it. So what an open heart is that you are being in the position to receive. And you know how you do that? You got to finish the process. Why are givers the ones that receive the most?
They're open.
Because they're in the position to do so.
Mm-hmm.
That right there. So it's give and take. It's reciprocal.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I give love. I give compassion. Yeah. But also, I can't pull it back.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you're going to return it. I'll leave it open.
Mm-hmm.
And I remain in that position of having an open heart so that I can receive from you, from God, through you, or whomever, what God has for me.
I want to say to some brothers that's watching this that you've went through some things that have hurt your heart tremendously. And some of you been ashamed about talking about what hurt you. Some of you don't even want to acknowledge You've just tried to move on with life. But we see you, we hear you, and we're with you. And it's a courageous journey as a man to decide to work on the inside more than you work on the outside. I know you may want to work on your wallet and your bank account. I know you may want to work on your career. I know you may want to work on how you're living or how you're driving and how people see you. But I'm here to tell you, even if you get it, you can destroy it with a closed heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the enemy knows that if he can keep your heart closed, he can shut off, because out of the heart flows all of the issues of life. But that's the key. It's a flow. And if you get your flow right, your cash flow is going to get right.
Ooh.
If you get flow, I need some folks right now that's seeing this. You're a female, you got a brother, you got a sister, you got a husband. You don't even know how bad that man's heart is hurting. But that's why we're here, to get that flow right. I'm on a journey of getting my flow right.
Yes.
You're
Same
on a journey
thing.
of getting your flow right. And that's why we're here together. Because what happens to our community when it's flowing? When it's flowing, there are whole cities that are built off of a flow. One of my favorite cities in Georgia, Savannah, it was built because there was a river that flowed through it. If you look at some of the greatest economies, they were built off Egypt. It's built off the Nile River because there's a flow. And I'm trying to tell you that so many things are going to happen when we get our flow back.
Yeah. Hey, man, as always, bro, solid stuff, man. Don't forget, family, to like, share, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure that you like this video and share it with somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes I'm watching videos and I'm just enjoying the content. I forget to like. So I'm asking you now to intentionally just like the video. It will help us so much as we continue to do what we're supposed to do. Until next time, we love you, family. A new episode every Thursday. We'll see you next week. Man up.